This is the bathroom sink faucet in our hotel room at the TownePlace Suites Miami Airport Hotel, which is operated by Marriott. Look at how stiff the faucet handle is. You can easily push it all the way up or down, but to set it anywhere in between those two extremes is not easy. It's just too stiff. It needs a firm grip and some muscular effort every time you use it, whether to adjust the amount of water or the temperature. For me, this was an annoyance, but for my wife, it was more than an annoyance because she suffers from arthritis in her fingers, so it's hard for her to grasp small objects tightly. In comparison, our hotel room's kitchen sink faucet needed only one or two fingers and a light touch. Likewise, the hotel room's bathtub faucet also needed very little effort to use. And here are some ordinary household faucets. They're all easy to use, and this is how faucets normally operate. In contrast, the bathroom sink faucet in our hotel room was clearly in need of repair. So I asked the hotel's front desk for help with that, and they promised to send a repairman. But no repairman came. 2 days later, after repeated requests, a repairman finally did arrive, but he had neither the knowledge nor the tools to repair the faucet. So another repairman was sent the following day, but he didn't know how to fix the faucet either. However, it wasn't just the maintenance staff who were at fault. The hotel's managers were no help either. For example, the operations manager promised to buy a new cartridge for the faucet and have it installed for us, but she didn't keep her promise. So in the 2 weeks we stayed in the hotel, the stiff faucet handle was never fixed, even though we had paid $2,500 for our room. Yet the faucet likely could have been repaired simply by lubricating the cartridge with silicone grease. But the maintenance staff didn't seem to know how, and the managers didn't seem to care. Instead of courteous, competent assistance, what we got was neglect, ineptitude, excuses, dishonesty, and even rudeness. It's worth noting that, at the nightly rates the hotel charges, their annual revenue for our room alone must be about $60,000 year after year, yet they couldn't bother to fix our faucet, whether for our sake or for the sake of all their future customers. Toward the end of our stay, I learned that our room was not the only one in the hotel with a defective bathroom sink faucet. I also learned that the hotel's faucets were recently installed and were probably still under warranty. If so, the cartridges could have all been replaced at no cost to the hotel. No doubt the manufacturer, Simmons, would have been eager to please such a large customer as Marriott. But when I mentioned this to one manager, she replied, "Why should I do all that just for you?" Her contempt for my suggestion surprised me, but I was also astonished at her lack of interest in satisfying her guests now and in the future. The blame for all this falls squarely on the shoulders of the Marriott hotel chain's senior head office managers, as they failed to ensure that all their employees were properly trained and fully equipped to do their job. In fact, halfway through our stay at the hotel, I did complain in writing to the Marriott head office customer service department, but they took a full 9 days to reply. By then it was much too late to make any difference, as we had already finished our vacation. Moreover, the letter they emailed me nonchalantly passed responsibility back to the local hotel managers, who themselves had helped cause the problem in the first place. In my particular case, it was a stiff faucet handle that they refused to repair, but in the future and for other customers, it could be a leaking toilet, a problem with insects, or any one of the many problems a guest can experience in a hotel room. Unfortunately, it seems Marriott's top management is mainly interested in promising satisfaction, but when it comes to delivering on those promises, they feel no responsibility. That's why I no longer trust Marriott. Overall, the TownePlace Suites Miami Airport Hotel was ordinary but clean, and most of the employees were friendly. Unfortunately, the maintenance staff lacked the basic plumbing skills needed to repair our stiff faucet, and the hotel's managers were downright unhelpful. Evidently, they were never properly trained. Inadequate employee training is a sure sign of head office neglect, And if that's the case, then poor service likely pervades the entire Marriott hotel chain. Since I prefer good service, I'll be avoiding Marriott hotels from now on.